So I think that many times when you ask an entrepreneur, when an entrepreneur asks me, what investors should I pick up, or how should I choose my investors? The first answer I give them is just like that, just like I expect you to move the fastest possible, you should expect your investors to move the fastest possible. And between getting a great investor in 3 months or getting a good investor now, go for the good investor now. And then fulfill the rest of your needs in terms of people that will help you through advisors or anything else. I think that this is good advice in general because, as I said, speed is the most important thing. If you don't have money, you cannot move in many cases. You cannot hire more people. And so this is really critical. Having said that, you've got to make sure that you don't get investors in that basically become a liability on the company. And the kind of investors that could become a liability on the company are those that are either very bad in the way they manage the relationship with the founders, that's one thing, or those that demand all kind of terms that would basically take away either the control of the destiny of the company or slow down the company. And so when I see investors that are requiring extreme veto rights, or they're requiring to be the ones approving stuff, or I've even seen investors that say, I want to sign on amounts that the company spends above a certain level, I stay away from these deals. And the reason is because, as I said, I want the entrepreneurs to be able to move fast and iterate fast. And if each such movement and iteration is going to be slowed down by investors that want to be part of it, then then the company is going to have a liability that I don't like. And so, all things equal, go with good investors that move fast. However, make sure that you do not take money from people that could become liability. How do you know that? First of all, get a good lawyer. And a good lawyer is not necessarily one of the large firms, but it's somebody that dealt with many startups. And make sure that the lawyer explains to you what are the terms in the term sheet or in the contract that are going to slow you down. And these are the ones you need to insist on removing the ones that slow you down. The second thing, never take money from an investor without talking to at least one company, preferably more, that they invested in. Just like the investor due diligence is you need to due diligence them, because that's marriage. You're going to be together for years now. And so if you're not going to basically talk to somebody that already worked with them and get an honest review of them, then you're not doing yourself justice. And just like an investor is not doing its job if they're not doing due diligence on the company, you're not doing your job if you're not due diligencing the investors. And after all of that, when you get the list of people that passed your due diligence and that are willing to move fast, only then start thinking about who's the best. Only then start thinking about who can help me the most, who can bring me the most value. And then when you think about who can bring me the most value, it's important to not think about who brings me the most value hands-on, because you don't want your investors to be hands-on with the business that you're building. It's two things, is who gives me the most credibility in the market, because let's say that you're building an open table-like business, then if you got an investor which is an open table ex-executive, that brings you lots of credibility with investors. So that's one thing that can bring you value. The other thing is if you get access to their network. So look at the network of the person. These are the two things to look for: credibility that it gives you and network that you can use.